Hey everyone, welcome back for another episode on the Ginger Me Glam Show with your host, Kitty. We're here with Josie. Josie, introduce yourself and tell everyone why you're super amazing and on the show today.
Hi, I'm Josie. I'm the lead singer of a band. We are called Koizumi, and then you pronounce it like Koi-Zu-Me. And I'm here because we just came out with a new single called 17, and I'm here to talk about it. Get you guys
Super
excited for it. Yeah.
Yes. So, full disclosure here, Josie and I go way back, definitely in the music scene. We used to hang out, sing on the acoustic guitar. This is my girl. So you already are committed to this, okay? Because you've already logged on and subscribed. Now you need to subscribe.
Yes,
but
subscribe.
That's the name of the game. Is smash that like button.
Like button.
Don't just like it. It takes us back to our roots. Like, I just remember, like, singing in your backyard, and then you're on acoustic, and then your dad busts out with the guitar, playing, like, the brick in the wall.
Yeah, oh my gosh.
Dad, no. But now this is your time, Josie, and I feel like when I watched that video, like we were talking about, like, I cried because, like, I could feel that same feeling, that you felt when you were singing, and it was just, like, it came through. And I feel like now is our time, like the Goonies, down here is our time.
Yeah.
I know that ages a little bit, whatever, don't care, happy to be a millennial, but we're surviving and thriving. And I feel like now more than ever, creativity, like this is where we can inspire and empower people at a time that they need it most. Tell us a little bit about that process, because I want to know everything about 17 and the music video.
So 17, you're going to love this because this is kind of where our roots are.
Great.
Back in 2023, in the beginning of the year, I went to a show at the Metro. If you're from Chicago, you know where the Metro is. It's a very like iconic small venue that a lot of, big names started. That's where they kind of played first and then got really big. So I saw a certain band, at the Metro. This is a band that we share. This is how we met.
We used to hang out on the lines and stuff all day.
Yes. Very specific band that I saw at the Metro, which, by the way, they don't play the Metro anymore. They're way too big to play the Metro. So I haven't seen this band in this small of a venue since I was younger, like since we were 17,
exactly.
Like 17, 18. That's the last time they played, a small venue like that. So when I was there, I was front row, like we do.
Yep.
That's
you
what we
do.
On the barrier. Yeah, like we do. As old as I am now, I was like, and by the way, it was snowing. Okay, this is January. Okay, so like
middle
January.
It's cold there too.
Yes, this is Chicago. So it was windy, snowy. Literally, our feet were numb, our hands were numb. I was on that line at like 10 a.m.
Ooh. Committed.
Yeah, committed. Which at this age, it's like I'm like, can I still do this? But anyway, I did because like getting a ticket to that was really like really exclusive, and I didn't even get my ticket. My friend got me a ticket, so wow. I tried. I was there when it opened. It opened, blah blah. Couldn't get it, and then my friend messaged me and she was like, "I have 2 extra tickets. Do you and your best friend want to come?" And I was like,
"What do you think?"
Oh my gosh, yeah, I was like so sad before that, and I was like giving up. And then she called. Anyway, I digress. After I went to that show, specifically that show, the next day when I woke up, I didn't go to work because I was like too effed up in the head, and I was like, okay, like I'm just like I got home really late, and I was just kind of a mess. So I went upstairs to my studio, which I'm in now, and I just cried. Like I cried my eyes out, and I wrote this song in like under 2 minutes because everything that I was, it was almost like it just poured out of my mouth, like without even thinking about it. Like, oh, how is this chorus going to sound? How is this verse? It's as if I had it in the back of my brain this entire time, and it just came out. And it was because of that show that everything I was saying in the song, which is, I felt really high when I got home. You get that adrenaline rush after a show like that. You feel all these feelings, you feel like you're young. But then when you leave and you go home, you start to realize, wow, I'm in the same place doing the same thing I was at 17 when all I ever wanted was to be a part of their life, like a part of their world, part of your world, you know. What can I give, you know? But that's how I really you really feel like Ariel, where you feel like what do I do? What does it take to get to that level and work your entire life to get there, but you're just, you know, scratching and crawling up a mountain and you just feel like you're not moving. So I wrote that song with those feelings because I just felt like I have this unrequited love with music and getting famous and getting, you know, my song out there, which is, to me, is more important than the actual fame part. But like I've always wanted to open for big bands like Paramore, Fall Out Boy, Good Charlotte, and all that.
Yeah, and music is your life. That's you.
Yeah, and it's been since forever. So so that's what 17's about. 17's about feeling like, if only you can see me for me, like for what I actually do, instead of just a face in the crowd that you've probably seen 20 something times now. Yeah. It's like, I'm more than that face. I actually, like, you know, I'm an artist. Too. Right. Yeah. Exactly. So to feel like a loser and feel like you're, you know, like I say things like, I'm a loser, I'm a creep, because you start to feel that way when you go to a bunch of these shows and you're like front row, you start to feel like, kind of like, am I ever going to grow up?
Conflict.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's like, I don't want to, but at the same time, you know, I do. And, you know, my life is different, obviously, since 17, but since I was 17, clearly. But, you know, it's that feeling of feeling like that again, feeling like you're 17 and nothing's changed. Like you're still in that place. So that's when I wrote 17, why I wrote 17. And then the music video was inspired by the why, because it's these bands that we grew up with that, you know, I always go see, and I've been seeing since I was 17, and I'm 36 now. So that's a long time. Almost 20 years of, actually it's been 20 years, because I've been seeing Good Charlotte since like 2004. Yeah. It's been a long time. So, you know, it's been over 20 years of 2 decades of, you know, really just doing the same thing, like going to a show, maybe getting front row, maybe getting in the back, maybe getting a seat, whatever, but you're not, they still don't know you. They still don't know you exist. They still don't know that you're creating music. You're still just like, you know, just a number of an algorithm. You know what I mean? Like you're just sinking into what everybody else wants, you know? So it's that frustration, and that's what the music video is about. That's why I surrounded us with all those bands, because it was almost like a reminder of what haunts me and what drives me at the exact same time. And that was the inspiration behind the video, was just to, you know, and then everything flying around and stuff like that. Yeah. I actually got inspired by, I don't know if you've ever seen this video. You probably have, because if you're a Good Charlotte fan, you probably have. It's called The Young and the Hopeless. That music video. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. That music video.
Love that one. Yeah. I can see that now. Yeah.
Yes. That's where I got my inspiration from, when the thing started like kind of coming off the walls.
Girl for life.
Yeah. Yeah. Right. Girl for life. But that's pretty much the inspiration, that part. And then I just wanted chaos, because that's, in the end, that's what it feels like. You know, it just feels like chaos in your mind, because, you know, one day you're like, I can do this, and then the other day you're like, I'm a loser. You know, I'm a loser. It's never going to happen. So you just kind of like, you know, bounce back and forth with that. So that's what that's what that's about.
It's like that tension, and I feel like we're at that poignant age, like, because I know I think you're a month older than me, so we're about the same. That's why, you know, we're sister signs. But it's like, oh my gosh, like you brought up Ariel too, and I'm like, yes, like we've always had our voice, but it's because, you know, growing up, you know, Italian American household, it's always like, use your voice, but not like that, you know, like use it, but but different, right? So you're just like, what does that mean? Like, what am I supposed to do? And then we're being told by outside forces too to do that, and then get a real job, do this and that, you know.
Yeah,
Jesus,
yes.
lyrics we're talking about. Or it's like, I don't want to do those things. Like, I want to do it my way. And I feel like that tension of like what was and what is, but we're lucky. We, you know, because we've put in the hard work. That's why I say maybe not so much luck, but it's the hard work of it comes back around. Yeah. You know, we've been there, but now instead of consuming, it's moving to that push of creation. And we're in that point in our life where it's like no longer consuming. We are what we aren't, right? It's just the same music essentially, and then now our own. So it's like I do my own show, you have your band, and it's finally like growing because we're stepping into who we're supposed to be, who we were before people told us what we should do. Like, you know, you ever feel like that? You're like, y'all keep telling me these things, but I know this is where I belong. So like, that's why this resonated so much too. And like, I showed my husband too. He's like, oh my God, yes. He's like, he used to do audio engineering. So like, same vibe, you know, where it's just like, yeah, but it's a different animal on that side of the table. I go, I know. Yeah. But I think for you, when I saw that video, I told my husband too, I go, that's the Joe I know. Like that's you stepping into your power. I got the chills. That was so cool.
Thank you.
If you haven't watched it, people, go and watch it. I'll drop it in the comments too. So now you are committed to watching it. Okay. Let us know what you think.
Yeah. It's on YouTube. Give it a like. Maybe subscribe to us too if you can. You know, if you want. If you like it.
Maybe do it.
Do it. And also, we have other music videos as well, so you can go back and check that out. But this one, you know, this song specifically, I wrote it. Like other songs, yeah, you know, we have a whole album full of stuff, and that's great and all. But this one was the one song in the album, and the one single that came out that was written that way. It was, you know, usually I kind of write, like, I'll write like in a day or something if I'm really inspired, but this was like really just, you know,
came out.
It just came out. So I knew it was special because of that. And when I presented it to the band for the first time, it's an acoustic version, you know, because that's how I usually write. The acoustic version, then I present it to them, and then we make a song. And the acoustic version's even more raw because I'm just singing it. Like maybe one day if this song gets really big, I'll like release that version because it's like really, really deep. And I'm like half like hysterical, like singing it. And my band is like, whoa. Like when they heard it, they were like, where did this come from? Like, what? Whoa. And I was like, I don't know. Like, and I'm like half crying. But anyway, and it took a while to get here. Like it took about a year to really, it went through phases. So like it went through different producers that didn't work out. It went through some changes, and it's finally at this place where I feel like it's ready. We also have like a clean version of the song that's not out yet.
Ooh,
but
okay.
Yeah, because it is explicit. There are curse words in this song.
We're Italian, you know how we grow up with that.
Listen, if you're doing rock, it comes with the territory, especially. Yeah, it's just the way it is. You know, we're not young. We're gonna curse.
Feel yourself, you know, like.
Yeah, I just felt like it was kind of important to really like keep the feeling, even if that meant explicit content, because I just felt like I didn't want to dumb it down just because I was like, oh, you know, maybe these are for the kids. But I have that version, you know, I have that radio version coming out.
If they want that.
If they want that, if their kids want to listen to it, if kids want to listen to it, you know. You know, there's an option, but that's coming out soon. That's going to be in a lyric video on YouTube, and then Spotify is going to have it. So I'm excited for that because then I can give it to the radio stations, because right now I really can't do that.
Right, wait a minute.
Yeah, I can't play this. Can you give me like a clean version, please?
I need the radio edit.
Yeah. So it's kind of exciting. We're doing, you know, we're really working hard to push it, you know, all over TikTok and Instagram and, you know, all that social media. I know. You have to keep up with. Back then, like what? It was like MySpace, that's it.
I know. And LiveJournal.
LiveJournal.
Oh my gosh. Everyone knew, like, check everyone's, you know, away message and check the boards. Yeah. People actually interacted, like, and it was a 1-to-1. So, like, if you saw a board, you could all actually talk to the person. So, and bands. So like, I like that you're also very accessible too, because that's what I miss about bands. You could message them and you'd actually be talking to someone. I get that it's now logistically hard, but it was definitely a thing.
Yeah, it was a different time, and it's crazy to think that like back then it was so easy to just kind of like stay after, like, let's stay after a show and you can just meet them. They're coming out. You know it.
Remember all the pizza parties we'd have with bands?
Yeah, oh my gosh. You want to know something funny that happened at Metro? They literally came out. Yeah, okay, but they didn't come out themselves.
Yeah.
But they came out with like just a bunch of pizzas, and they were giving it out in the line. But yeah, and like, but back then
taking
it was
a bag. Yeah.
Yeah, but and I was like, what year is this? Like that's why I kind of
wait a
that
minute.
thought, like, do I feel, am I 17? Like, why is this happening again? But like back then it was like they were so personable, and there was a lot of meet and greet opportunities, things that they don't have anymore. That just doesn't exist anymore. And I don't know if it was a COVID thing or if it was just the thing that happened like over time.
Yeah. It was a weird transition.
It is. Yeah, it was a weird transition. The last 10 years, maybe even less, have been less about meeting them now and more about just buying a ticket and going to the show and leaving.
Yep.
Like the experience is great, but the experience isn't like mind-blowing anymore.
Yeah.
You know, like the way that it used to be, where like, oh my gosh, I met them after the show. You know, we hung out in their tour bus. Things that used to happen like totally normal all the time, but it was really special.
I know.
It was like, you know, and now when you tell the story to people, they're like, okay. What? Yeah, they're like, yeah, sure that happened. And I'm like, it did. And they're like, okay, yeah. Because they don't know what it's like. Artists now don't do what they used to do.
Exactly.
You know, 20 years ago. Different time.
So there's a band that moved here recently. We won't drop names on this one, but they go back to their home state. And we actually, Joe and I, we went on a tour bus with one of the bands after the show. It was really cool because our friend was close with them and a roadie, and they're like, hey, we can get you into the show for free. Just hang out here. We got to meet them. And afterwards, we were able to get pizza and hang out with them on the tour bus. And it wasn't weird. They're actually really cool. And I think that's one of the things from back when that I miss was that, you know, the bands that we interacted with were really cool. And like, it didn't matter, you know, it wasn't a strange vibe. It was just, I appreciate you for being a fan, and like, I appreciate you being part of the community. And that's the biggest thing that's missing right now in the music industry, community. Like, it's not just having a message board or a meet and greet where you take pictures, buy stuff, and leave. So when bands actually have like meaningful meet and greets, I think it's the coolest. You know, like they have like live paintings or like actually getting to chat with the band. Like I see some bands doing that. I'm like, that's so cool. Like that reminds me of those things we did, not just picture and go. You know, it's just like,
and
what happened to the candids?
yeah. And also like, it's like 3 times more money to meet somebody now. It used to just be like, you got really lucky at a show, totally free. Like totally free. You just have these experiences totally free. And now it's like, oh, you want this experience? Yeah, $1,000. And I'm like, no, like it used to not be like that. It was crazy. Like Warped Tour. They're talking about Warped Tour coming back, right?
Oh, I'm so sick. I was so excited it came back, and then I saw the price and went,
yes.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
But I can't.
No, and that's the thing. Like I think about Warped Tour back then, and even if I have you know what's funny? I'm gonna grab this in a second, but I have a book that I'm gonna prove to people that Warped Tour was like $40 or something back then, $20 to $40.
20 to 40, depending on the year. Yeah.
Yes, and like now it's like 200 or whatever for the weekend or what. I don't even know. I can't even consider it a tour.
1,000 for VIP.
Oh my gosh, that's crazy.
I was like, I'm like, I don't know. I just want to know what the lineup is. And people are like, oh, you shouldn't ask about the lineup. I'm like, that's not true, because back in the day, we would get the lineup and we would know who was coming to our town before we purchased. And granted, it was only like, what, $15 to $40, depending like on, because some of them were 20. But it was the worst because you would just go, I don't know if I can go. And now looking back, I'm like, oh my God, I'm so glad I went to every single one. It was not an option, because now it's bad. Like it's not even a tour. So I'm not trying to crap on it, but you know.
It's not.
I can't afford it. Yeah.
Yeah, and like 3 shows.
Not
2 on
reasonable to
the
me.
yeah, that to me that is, a tour is a tour, like a
Yes.
tour
Yeah.
throughout the whole
Throughout
United
the land.
States. Yeah, like not just 3 places that you have to fly, get a hotel, like on top of paying what you got to pay to get in, and then not knowing the lineup is
Yeah.
insane to me. Because what are you
Exactly.
paying for? Like, okay, yeah,
It's
it's
up
Warped
too.
Tour.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's like at least announce one of the big ones, like one of the big ones, you know, whoever it is, just one, because then it gets people excited, and like,
Mhm.
now it's like people are just buying it to get it. They're like, oh yeah, we have it, but in my
Yeah.
mind, I'm like, you don't even know what you're seeing. What if it's not even good?
What if
Like,
it's a
what if,
bunch of bands that you didn't want to, see it from whatever genre? Like maybe I know that it had all genres at Warped, but imagine it's like not saying this is it, but it was only ska, and you're like, I'm into hardcore. Like that would be a
yeah,
very bad thing for you. But hopefully, it is like the past where they had like a good mix of things,
yeah, I hope
so
so.
everyone's happy. And some past appearances are going to be on there too. So I was
Mm.
like, oh, okay, and some new people. So like kind of
Oh,
like how they had
okay.
other people
Mm.
moonlighting. So we'll see.
We'll see. Hey, I'll go Warped Tour. Hey,
Yeah,
put me on Warped Tour.
for real. It worked. If you want to give us some passes, that would be really awesome.
Right? Right? Hell, that would be great.
I'm
Listen,
ready to ruin some shoes.
I'll do it for free, man. Like, look, if you need a band to fill in real quick, we'll do it for free. Just to play
Right?
for Warped Tour, I don't need any money. Just the experience is enough. That is priceless.
God, I remember those side stage. Oh my gosh, like seeing like even Paramore, like what 2005,
Yeah.
2000, yeah,
Yeah.
Taste of Chaos, and then Warped on a little small stage. I'm just like, I don't think people realize how big this band is going to be.
Yeah.
Like,
So, okay, you
it's
were there,
crazy.
right, for Warped Tour 2006? Were you there
Yes,
for that? Okay. Do
yes,
you
yeah.
remember the tornado?
Oh, there was a tornado, and then another year they had like another one on the beach, Miami Beach.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
There was a tornado
That was
the year Paramore was there. The year
yes.
that and then like
I
right
was there.
after they did a set, everybody started running and we were like, what's happening? There's a tornado like eating up the side of a building. And it's like,
Like
oh, what's going
cool.
It was so great. I'll never forget that just because it was like so wild. But
That's Florida though.
that's what I was gonna say. I was gonna say
Like
if you're
come
going
on.
to Warped Tour in Florida, you're gonna get some kind of storm, whether it's like
Even though it's
rain or
November, like I'm still suspicious because I'm like, it's still hurricane season.
yeah, or maybe a hurricane's just gonna blow the whole thing out.
Right. It's so messed up.
I know. I mean, oh my gosh, my one of my favorite memories is there's 2 memories that
Mhm.
I'll never forget. One of them is when we went to the Hard Rock Live and we saw
Yes.
Fall Out Boy. That
Oh,
was
that was
like
yeah.
that was crazy. That was a
I
crazy
know.
night. Okay. Just saying. It was wild. Um, and then when we saw Cobra Starship, we went to like
Yes.
when they were like they were like barely
Yeah.
known yet. And like
Uh-huh.
their second album wasn't even out yet. Like Viva La Cobra was not even out yet. It was the
Mhm.
first album that was out. And we saw them and then we hung out with Gabe. Do you remember we hung out with
Yep.
Gabe like
You have the picture.
yes, yeah. And a stupid sidekick slide picture. So it's like a
Oh yeah.
terrible quality.
It's bad quality.
It was bad quality. And it's like when I show my friends this now, like these pictures now,
Mhm.
they're like, why is it blurry and messed up? And I'm like, listen, back then
You
it was
know,
like
it's about the memory. Nobody cared about quality yet.
yeah, exactly. It was the memory. And we had such a good
Mhm.
time that night with Gabe. That was fun. I remember that. That was a good
Mhm.
time.
That
But
was
yeah, those are
hilarious. You
yeah,
know
of
what?
course. Yeah.
No, I saw him at when I was doing the Johnny Cupcakes pop up at South by Southwest a couple years ago, and I was
Uh-huh.
able to give him my shirt, the one that I had designed with Johnny's team. So he has one of my T-shirts.
Oh, he does? That's cool.
Yeah. So I was like, yes, and everyone else is like, what? I'm like, if that moment happened today, people would have been bum rushing the man.
Mm-hmm. Oh
But
yeah.
good times.
This is great times. I feel like we were always there for bands that like broke out. Like we were
Yes.
always there like right like before they broke out, like before they really broke out, we were there and then they broke out and it was like they were untouchable. at that
Oh, I
point.
know.
But like, it's
We couldn't
crazy.
even
Like,
talk to them anymore.
no, that's what I mean. Like, we
Yeah.
were able to just like Gabe was like at the I think it was at like the merch booth or something,
Yep.
and like he was
Just hanging out.
hanging
Yeah.
out. Like, we were
He was
just
dancing
chilling.
with us there too. We're like, hey,
Yeah,
what's up? You know, and he was like talking.
yeah,
I mean, really nice people. You know, I miss that. Just being able to talk and be a human.
yeah.
And now we can't, because then, it's a security thing, because people are really, really cray now.
I
Like, no
know.
sense of personal space. So I understand why they don't do it. It's really sad that people can't just chill.
Yeah,
You don't
we've come
have
to
to,
this.
yeah, don't put them on a pedestal and then be so creeper. Like, just be chill. Like,
I know. It's like I kind of wish like sometimes I wish I can see big bands now to like that's kind of like why I loved the Metro so much because it reminded me of like how like a big band used to be and like before they became so big. Like they even came out after like they came out the bus was like right there. They came out like
oh,
no problem. And that
that's so cool.
I didn't stay for that because it was literally like -20
Ooh,
and
no. And you've
I'm
already
sorry,
done that, so
girl.
it's like, I'm good.
Yeah, I was like, I kicked myself a little because like I left at 11 and they
Mm.
literally came out at 11:15.
Oh,
No
so
joke.
you didn't have a
15
choice.
minutes.
Yeah. It was decided for you.
It was this. I was like, oh well, I guess that's how it goes. But like,
Hmm.
it just, I just missed that, and then yeah, to see a big band like that in a little venue, and that I feel like that's really what reminded me of the age. You know, like I felt my age. I did. I'm oh my gosh, and my best friend, Kristen, she
Hmm.
broke her toe at the show. Like she broke her toenail and she had to get her toenail surgically removed.
Oh no.
And it was funny because we were laughing about it because we were like, the things
Seriously,
we
with the dog?
do, the things
Can't
we
take you
go through.
anywhere. We're too old now.
Yeah, it's like a whole toe is broken. That's how old we feel at these shows now. And oh
I
my
remember
gosh,
when I
it's
used to
crazy.
have a toenail. It's like, oh my
Yeah,
god.
it's like so and so Ben broke my toenail. It's like, oh my god, yikes!
The memory book.
Yeah, exactly. So can I have my toe so I can put it in my? No, just
Girl.
kidding. Anyways, I digress.
No, but it's gonna be interesting to see, you know, bands bringing back this, like last night when I went to the show with Census Fail and Saves the Day. It was a small venue. It's House of Blues, and
Yeah,
it was a very intimate setting. I think that's why I like you like Metro, like House of Blues. They're very small, intimate.
I love that.
You can actually
Hmm.
see them. They interact with the crowd. They're talking. You can hear them. It's not like an echo, in an
Hmm.
arena, and you feel
Yeah,
it. And you can feel that
you feel
energy.
it.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like you don't feel that in an arena anymore. You
Oh.
just don't. Like it's just like I went to Riot Fest
Mm-hmm.
in September, and
Nice.
big band. I mean,
Yeah.
Fall Out Boy closed it out and all that, but
Mm-hmm.
it was such a like so huge, and it just felt like there was you don't it's a
Yeah.
little frustrating because it's like you know what it's like to be so close to a band like that,
Yeah.
and then to feel so far away and to feel like they're so untouchable makes you feel like to kind of full circle this moment
Yeah.
makes you feel like a loser, makes you feel small, makes you feel like you know that you're always going to be this like face in the crowd, and
Yep.
um it gets frustrating. It gets kind of annoying. but you
Oh, I know. That's
but
how I was feeling last night at the show. Like I'm bringing my son who likes the music too. He goes to all the shows with us, and he's got his little,
yeah,
he loves the same music, so
headphones.
it works out. Yeah.
Yeah,
Like, he's like, oh, this is so cool, and he loves the stories that I tell him about how we used to go to shows and stuff, and his dad used to have a band and stuff, so it was audio engineering, working with very famous people. So he was just like, wow, like you guys are very connected to music. I want to learn all about it, and just being able to show him the experience of like small music settings and like
Mm-hmm.
understanding what it's like, he has a deeper appreciation. And it's some things that like also last night that Buddy said from Senses Fail that really like connected for him, you know, with my son, and he's just like, wow, you know. So it's like having those moments where, you know, the bands, they banter and talk with you and stuff, like, and interacting with the crowd, like it does mean something to the crowd, to the people. And like me and you, we're no longer 17, but it felt in that moment where I was like, wow, okay, so we are doing the thing. That's good, because we can no longer be in that place of like, you know, not to drop it again, but like Senses Fail has like Life's Not a Waiting Room, right? But it kind of has felt like that because of all the other circumstances and like putting ourselves last in that regard, where now it's like, no, we're not just a face in the crowd. Like, we have a voice, and we are now going to unleash the fury.
Yeah, it's like
it feels good.
yeah, and that to me, like, that's what in the end the intention for that song was,
Mm-hmm.
to make like to make people feel like they can relate to it, but also to make
Mm-hmm.
people feel like you shouldn't have to feel that way. Like, you really should just, no matter if you feel that way, and you will feel that way, like, it'll just, no matter what you're working for, whether it's like school,
anything,
your job, anything, it doesn't have to just be fame and fortune or anything of that nature.
no, not at all.
No, it's life. Like, to feel like, let's say you're at work and you bust your ass trying to get a promotion, but then the person next to you who doesn't work that hard gets a promotion. It's the same feeling. You feel like a loser. Like, and you feel frustrated that you're just busting your ass, but like somebody who doesn't even have to goes ahead of you. Yeah, they just get it. They get lucky. They get blessed, whatever you feel or believe. But so I think the point is to just, regardless of your age, because I know a lot of millennials now feel old, because I feel that way, in their 30s, you feel like, who's going to want, like, who's going to care? Like, who's going to want to sign a 36-year-old? Yeah, right. Like,
is it you?
Yeah, like, who am I speaking to right now? Yeah, like, exactly. So, but to not feel discouraged by that, because you will.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, even I do all the time. I still do.
Imposter syndrome.
Imposter syndrome. Yeah, exactly.
Here.
Yeah, it sucks. But with age, it happens. And when you're young, you feel like you can do anything. And it's
gotta harness that.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, you know what? Maybe you should feel 17 again. Take those, those feelings of hope and those feelings of you can be whoever you want to be, regardless of your age, and get her done. You know what I mean? Just do it anyway. And the blessing, I guess, in the end, is we live in a society now where you don't even need to be signed, or it's not like back then where you needed a record contract to really be known. Now we have the internet, to where if we spread this enough, like, if we share this enough, if we, put as much promotion as possible, we can get those numbers that don't even require, like, to be signed. And being signed is nice, clearly, but
but you can
obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, oh, that doesn't mean I don't want to get signed. I do. Hello. Like, hi, Fueled by Ramen. Yeah. Hello. But the point is that, it's now more people can hear you without feeling so, I guess, muted, like you needed.
Exactly. You don't
money or something.
Yeah. More gatekeeping. You just smash it down.
Yeah, exactly. Break it through, man. Because it's like, there are people out here that are working hard, like, including you. And we really need, like, we need eyes on real art, and we need eyes on people who are working really hard. And I hope that people acknowledge that. You know what I mean? Like, I hope that people can see that, us millennials, we're resilient, relentless, and we will do whatever it takes, like, regardless of how badly we are pushed down and beaten, because we are
all the time.
All the time. We get no's all the time. We get, we get people saying, "Oh, you're too old," all the time. Whatever you hear from people, especially younger people who maybe, feel like, "Oh, okay, grandma, go home," like whatever. Don't listen. Just keep
Hey, I'm
going.
on your side.
Yeah, I'm on your side. I really am.
Like, why? Okay, you can be angry, but we're still gonna advocate for you too.
Exactly. Yes, 100%. We are on your side. You feel that way too, even if you're younger than me. Like, you definitely feel that way. Even if you're in high school. Yeah. So you're in high school and you're definitely feeling like a loser. Trust me. Like, we've all been there. We've all felt like
funny? Being the loser has also created the best friendships that I've ever had, and like always the offbeat, like other, I feel like we all end up finding ourselves and like each other and creating our own like group, and then thriving, because it's like then you actually have like people to drive off, like a soundboard, and like, okay, cool, what do you think about this, what do you think about that, and you make your own culture, so it's like in a way it seems like a curse, but it's actually a gift, because then we have the ability to transmute it into something so beautiful in a way that they could never. So it's hard at first, everyone always says that phrase, a redheaded stepchild, but you know what, it's like I am, but but I take that with so much love, because I remember people used to treat me horribly for having red hair as a kid, and now everyone's like, oh my god, she's so hot, I love you, I want your hair. I'm just like, ew. It's the same people that weren't at the shows before that now show up like, I'm like, you made fun of me for this. But anyway, I'll allow it, because you know what? I think there's more room for love. And I think that's the key. As long as we keep creating, we embrace, that loser creep vibe of like, you know what? You can call me every name in the book. Like, you think I suck? Good, because I love myself. And I listen to that own, your own narrative. I think that's the most important part, is like getting out of our head and getting it out into the world.
Yeah.
Like, that feels good.
Yep.
I know, it just hits. I know. So what's up next for you and your band? I'm really excited, because I know you got a couple shows, or what are you doing, or any kind of secret things we can know about, or
so there's a lot in store for us. We have a show, actually December 17th at the Arcadia, in downtown St. Charles, Illinois. Okay, there you go. I was like, St. Louis, St. Charles, what am I talking about? Anyway,
a lot of saints.
Yeah, a lot of saints. Yeah, St. Charles, Illinois. And we are doing a 30-minute set, all originals. So that's going to be really fun. That's what's coming up show-wise. We did have a show this week, actually tomorrow, in Indiana, but the entire staff there has COVID, so we had to cancel that. I know, it's unfortunate, but this is the life, this is the reality we live in now. So they had to shut the bar down for a couple of days, so we can't even pretend to go if we wanted to. That's all right. We're gonna reschedule, I'm sure, with them. So definitely. Indiana, hang on, we're coming.
We'll be there.
And then, just hang on for the announcement. No, and then of course all these singles are part of an album. So there's a new album coming out hopefully next year. It will be next year. We're in the process of finishing it. Right. It's called Erotomania, which if that means to be in love with someone of a higher stature than you. So that's basically, it just means to idolize and be in love with someone that you can never be with. Kind of like a housekeeper being in love with like a prince. You know what I mean? Like that kind of thing where there's just an irrational, like
Cinderella. Yeah.
Yeah, right. It's like that. And I kind of feel like that's a great word to sum up the album, because a lot of the songs are about the things I used to feel back in the day, and what I struggled with, even though I'm married now. That's, it still fuels, the writing process, I guess. So that is something to look forward to. So that's kind of where we are right now. But we're hoping that 17, really kind of is the fuel, that pushes us to where we need to be. So hopefully that happens.
Yeah. Gonna put more gas on that fire. I'm just saying, it's a banger. And if you haven't checked it out at this point in the video, you didn't pause and listen, do it after.
Yeah. Do it. Spotify, all the platforms. We're on all the streaming platforms that you can think of. And of course, YouTube is where the video is. So enjoy it. I hope you relate. I hope it, like, scream it in your car. I tell people this all the time. Like, it's one of those songs where, you know, the chorus can be really, if you're feeling frustrated, really just scream it in your car. If only I wasn't such a loser. Kind of something that everybody thinks once in a while. So
something to scream out in the car.
yeah. It's an angst song to scream out in your car.
We got a lot of angst right now for sure. So everyone, thank you for tuning in. Thank you, Josie, for being here, and check in the description for all the information. We had so much fun. If you have any other questions or comments and you want to see Josie come on again, because you know it's going to happen, let us know. Leave us some love. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.